Hi everybody, this is a reading and a light language transmission. It's for the period up to and just beyond the solar eclipse, which will be the 10th of June. These cards, as usual, have been out for a few days. They've been sitting, percolating, receiving energy, and information, and so I've been called now to do the reading. This is a bit of a portal here above all my crystals on the table. At the base, this is a twin flame reading. It came up really loudly as twin flame. So if you have a soul connection, you don't know if it's a twin flame, it can be equally relevant. You can also use it as the divine masculine, the divine feminine within yourself. So you don't have to be consciously a twin flame to receive the energies from this reading. So this feels like this is what's come up after the full moon eclipse we just had. So this is the after tarot and the angel answers tarot. So these two at the bottom, the hermit is Virgo, but it's also just going inner, contemplating, going inside for your wisdom, connecting to the divine through looking inner, taking time away from everything and coming to the point where your wisdom can illuminate your way and the way for others. I see the black dog as representing things like depression, and because they call the black dog depression, the black dog, and the snake I see is the kundalini. So I feel that this is very much a process of really accessing those deep, powerful energies, spiritual energies and wisdom, and working with the shadow within you as well, working through them, clearing them, befriending the shadow, using it as an ally in terms of understanding right and wrong, good and bad, light and dark, masculine, feminine, and knowing that everything is true and it's all part of duality, and using that wisdom to raise yourself to the top of the pinnacle where you can look down and see that perspective. And you can see it's harnessing the energy of the stars there. Very wise man. I think we're also working with the lower energies and shadows of grief and loss. This is of course where you're focusing on the spilt cups and not seeing the opportunities, what you've still got, not being grateful for what you've still got. And there is of course a time where you do need to fully grieve. And he's got that black coat, again, that like the black dog. I really feel like the shadow work is coming up, really feeling your emotions, feeling your grief, honouring that they're valid, and they've got something to show you and something to teach you. You can see that he's so inner there, so inner and so in his pain that he's not seeing anything around him. He's so focused there that he's not seeing the drowning man in the river. But I also feel like the drowning man in the river is a representation of him drowning in his grief and his sorrow and his loss. But I feel that what we're losing at the moment is anything that's of the false ego and of the false world that's not authentic to our true self. So this is almost like the positive version of going inner and doing your inner work and being solo, being alone. And this is obviously the negative slant on it. But I mean, there definitely is a point to see and feel that. It's just not dwelling on it, not getting lost in it, not getting sucked down into it, where you are just dwelling on it and feeding it and drowning in it and making it worse, you know. So this is where you're dealing with it, you're befriending it, you're using it to see a higher perspective, to access your higher light and love, and to shine a light for others. So from here, this is again, this is when you've been through a lot and you're a bit battered and bruised from the journey, and you're a bit defensive, but you've got an ally, and you're watching out for each other. So as long as you're watching out for him, he's watching out for you, right? So there's connecting with other people who have been through a similar journey, and banding together. So this is very solo, and this is coming back into community. It's interesting, these two are masculines. So I feel it's like the masculine side of us, the one that's out in the world, the one that's doing, that's the doer, the taking action, the thinker, thinking about it from a mental perspective, is being forced inner to deal with the feelings that are coming up, and to deal with why they've lost things. But it's a process of losing things, because what we're going to gain is much better. We're moving to a higher level. You can't take those things with you. You're changing vibe, you're raising vibration. Those lower vibrational things in your life and people in your life, they're not relevant anymore. And in this card, you're aware of that, but you're still going through the process of grieving and honouring the grief and honouring what you had, being grateful for what you had and what it taught you, which then brings you up here, honouring what you've been through, realising who your allies are. And then now we've got the women. So we've got the divine feminines here, or the feminine aspects of ourselves. So this is the Queen of Swords. She's very decisive. She has made a mental decision, but you can see there is, and she's got her feet solidly on the ground, so she's grounded, she's stable. You can see there's a bird in the sky, so she's free, she has flight, her mind is open, her mind is fast, her mind has perspective, and she has a butterfly, which represents transformation, sitting on the front of her swords. Now the sword is her saying, you know, that's what she honours the night with, rise night, you know, or makes a king from that sword, or makes a decision, and she's got her hand out saying, this is my decision. So she's weighed everything up, she's been through this process, she's let go of everything that's not real, she knows who her friends and allies are, she's been through a lot, so she's come out very wise. She's wisely making a decision, stable but with an open mind, seeing all perspectives, seeing the higher perspective. And she's holding her sword steady whilst the transformation happens. The butterfly represents transformation. It completely dissolves from the caterpillar. Whilst it's in the chrysalis, it liquefies, loses all form before it becomes the butterfly. And that's the process that she has been through. And it's from being the butterfly after that transformation that she's making the decision. And her decision stands, and it's solid. And from that solid decision of where she's going, what she wants in her life, what she doesn't, the whole world, the whole universe answers that decision. It revolves around that decision. It reorganizes around that decision. What she has said now goes, it manifests. But this process has come also from being very aware of the intangible and the power of the intangible. Again, this is very balanced, this moon card. And I believe it's also coming from the fact that we've just had the full moon eclipse, because you can see that's a full moon there, and there's a face in the moon, and it has a solar feel to it with those rays. So I feel that's, you know, that's where the last time the sun and the moon met. The sun and the moon are the masculine and the feminine, the hidden and the exposed. And so she's very balanced right underneath that sun and moon, although it is the moon, but I'm getting an imprint of the sun. And the moon reflects the sun, of course, as well. So not only does it reflect the sun, but we're just between two eclipses, which is the moon eclipsing the sun and then the sun eclipsing the moon. So it's a dance between the sun and the moon, the masculine and the feminine. And so she's right between those two pillars, which is very balanced. And then she's right underneath that sun moon, the moon reflecting the sun, and she's walking down a path down the center. There's cats are psychic energy, and there is a crab coming out of the water. So I feel like this is the hidden emotions emerging, the hidden emotions that have a hard shell on them, that are hidden. They're coming up to the surface, and though the moon is what's hidden, the sun exposes what's hidden. It shines its light on it. So it's the hidden emotions coming up. It's balanced with the mental activity, the masculine activity. Clear decisions and transformations are made. So they're taking me to in the near future. So in the near future card, I believe this is leading up to the solar eclipse on the 10th of June, and maybe a day or two beyond it. And this, you can see, is two together. So I see this as the coming together. So the coming together of the sun and moon, the masculine and the feminine, the twin flames, the sacred union, divine relationship coming together, but also just coming into balance within the self, the divine masculine, the divine feminine coming into balance within themselves. It's perfect timing. That cup is full. So here we have the cups spilled over with the two cups behind that are not being seen. This is it's actually an hourglass, but I'm seeing it as a cup in this instance. So it's denoting perfect timing, but I'm seeing it as a cup filling up with rainbow light. And the hourglass is like an infinity sign, so it's shifting back and forth, never being lost between the two cups. If you can see them as cups meeting together, facing the opposite way, full of rainbow light, full of divine light, divine love, moving constantly between the two vessels, never spilt over, never lost. So I feel this, and always in perfect alignment and harmony with the divine plan. So it's a real trust in timing and trust in the infinite nature of love, and especially soul love. And there is the couple together, and there, that's within the next few weeks. So I feel within the monthly cycles after the new moon solar eclipse on the 10th of June, a month after that, within the next few weeks after that. So we see those pillars again, we see the community. I feel that this divine timing and this infinite cup of, double cup of love, twin cup of love, twin rainbows expressed through individuals as divine romantic love, also expands out further into the entire community, and all the people, the divine love, the unity consciousness, like the Garden of Eden. So this shift, to the point that we can shift at the moment, that the energies will allow, and our bodies will allow, and our energies will allow. So I'm just being reminded that these cards have been sitting here for a few days, maybe a week. They've been sitting on the portal of the crystals underneath, and I glance at them every now and then and contribute my own energy. And then I was guided to bring this one in. So this is the antidote. This is a painting I did in 2007 for my mother. It's called Mother's Love, and it is two beautiful roses, a mother rose and a daughter rose. And so it's got the energy of motherly love, unconditional love, and passing down knowledge, passing down ancestral information, passing down information through the divine feminine line. Okay, so some light language is going to come through now just to activate that, bring those energies even more into those issues represented on the cards, and aligning with divine timing. And I'm aware it's right on top of the Queen, making with that sword. It's soothing those shadow aspects, the loss, the grief, the depression. It's bringing energy in from those divine love angels. It's clearing any unworthiness in the wounded feminine that's come through the ancestral line and the bloodlines, due to, you know, atrocities in history and things like that. And it's clearing that loss. It feels, it sounds a bit like a car starting or a lawnmower. It's like a motor starting. So it's like when you go into that stillness of grief and contemplation in these two cards here. This is the starting the motor again. It's restarting with love. I'm feeling it clearing out the base chakra. Also survival level issues. I think also relying on relationships, you know, codependency, relying on a man for financial survival, really, roof over your head, things like that. That's been coming up quite a lot. You know, people are afraid to leave relationships because the man is earning all the income while the woman's been doing something else. I know that's not how it is everywhere. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about ancestral issues from the past where that was the case, where a woman's survival depended very much on whether she got married and who she married, and often she had to marry for financial reasons rather than love, and there's elements of that being passed down through culture, through tradition, but also through the DNA, the ancestral memories, the bloodlines. So there's a clearing of relationship being connected to survival, romantic relationship being connected to survival. Which personally I see as the stem of codependency. Lots of different kinds of codependency, but that's one of them. Okay, I'm feeling the stem of that flower, even though it's not drawn in the picture. I'm feeling the stem of it, and I'm feeling it getting its nourishment from Mother Earth now. The energies of the earth coming up through the roots of that drawn flower there. I'm feeling the heart activating. I'm feeling that colour of that rose come into the heart, through the base into the heart, from the earth through the base into the heart, into the throat, all through the cells of the body, through the hands, through the third eye, through the crown, through the wings. I can feel wings on your back. I'm feeling it moving up through all the upper chakras above your head, and like a fountain through your energy field. Seeing a toroidal field around you. So this is the electromagnetic field of your heart, expanding with energy from the earth, the earth mother, strengthening your spine, especially your lower spine, really activated heart, and toroidal field, so that feels fully expanded now, really high above your head, really expanded out through the community like that as well, like right out. Your energy field's so big, as big as your suburb, as big as your city, and a pillar of light anchoring down the center of you, very grounded, like a flag in the ground, all the way down into the core of the earth. And I see the core of the earth golden, a golden core of the earth, golden energy pouring down through your crown, through your midline, right down through your base and into the core of the earth. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, so everybody, I hope you can really receive those, and my heart is so full. It's a healing, it's an activation, so make sure you drink a lot of water to help that move through. You might feel sensations in your body or emotions come up, as this was the antidote for depression and grief and loss. I would suspect that any of those kind of feelings may come up, and maybe feelings of not having an ally, feelings of having gone through the wars and needing healing, that kind of feeling. This is bringing healing to all of that. So if they come up, just bring the love into them, love them, understand they're there for a reason, they're taking you higher, and let them move through. Blessings, everyone.